So I use this note-taking app every day for over a year and with quite a lot of notes in it without need to organize them at all. Mem truly changed my life and allowed me to effortlessly create blog posts after blog posts and video after video. So much so that I don't think I'd be doing YouTube at all if it wasn't for that app. So if you're also looking for this creative transformation or just overall curious on what Mem.ai has to offer, this video will give you everything you need to know about Mem. And Mem is actually very easy to get started. You can simply create an account on the web and then you're good to go. Personally, back in August 2021, the fact that it was so easy to get started was one of the main reasons why I switched over from Notion in the first place. I was pretty hyped up about that app though, since I heard it could basically allow you to create an idea factory without effort. But you know, if you've ever been in a situation where a friend tells you about a cool app you need to try and then you get stuck in the login process, you know what I mean here. And it's also very easy to download the desktop app, and Mem also has an iOS app but not an Android app, so as of now it's most optimal for iPhone users. And once you're logged in, you enter this very clean space with this timeline view in the center, and normally all your notes are sorted by the latest modifier, but you can change it right here if you want to. You can also click on inbox, things added by you, shared with you, which we'll get back to later. And then we have the sidebar on the left here with home and tasks and people, collections, and then a section where you can place certain notes that you want to look at regularly. And while we're going to go deep on all that mentioned, let's explore the thing right here which is called the home mem. It's simply a scratch pad where you can write down the most important thing. It could be a focus question, inspirational quote, whatever, which you can always see right here if you have the sidebar locked in place. We can also hide that sidebar by clicking here and let it come back by hovering over the cursor. And finally you have groups, flows and trash. And on the phone it pretty much looks similar. You got the timeline in the middle, sidebar on the left, but not these menus on the computers or the home mem for that matter. You might see right away though that it's on dark mode on default and you cannot change it. And on the computer it's in light mode by default and you cannot change it. But if you're like me and would never look at anything that is white, you just want a very clear and aesthetic view, you can use this Chrome extension right here called Mem.ai, so you can get this pseudo dark mode called that. Now, out of all the note-taking apps out there, Mem offers the easiest way ever to create new notes. Just type whenever you want to type and then there is a new note, which to me was absolutely mind-blowing at the time. But you could also press Ctrl and or click right here, or if you're on the phone you can click right at the bottom. If you go back again though, you will notice that there are a ton of options there. We can create pre-written notes, like for instance a daily note, a project plan, meeting notes, a certain to-do list, one-on-ones, and even recipes and book recommendations. All that stuff already pre-made. But you can also make your own templates that will show up here as well, which I'll show you a little bit later. Because if you download the desktop app, you can create notes via something called Mem Spotlight. And whenever you're on the web or certain text selected, you can activate Mem Spotlight by pressing Command-Shift Spacebar. And as soon as you do it, there is this pop-up menu right here where you can either save that text into an existing note or to a new note by pressing Tab. And then whenever you're done, you press Command Enter. You can continue to do what you just did. And it's very useful if you, for instance, read a long article or an ebook, and rather than going back and forth between the notes to take some highlight and going back and read again and so forth, you can just press Command-Shift Spacebar all the time and then continue back. It's much more streamlined that way. Now we want to see what we can do with that specific note, and if you select the given text, you get all these options here to make headings, bold, italic, underline, strike through, different kinds of bolds and stuff. We can also make headings by typing hashtag and then space, and the more hashtags, the smaller the heading. So if you want a subheading, a sub-subheading, add another hashtag. You can also use a standard Command B, Command I, Command U for bold, italics and underline, and also put dash for bullets 3 dashes for the horizontal line, and 2 opposite square brackets for checkboxes, which is very easy. But for some reason you're still not able to highlight text, and the reason why I'm smiling is because I've actually asked that feature multiple times. I even told one of the founders that in the video call that I want highlights, but still no highlights. But you can, however, simulate those highlights on the computer by selecting your text. Click at this lighting icon over here, which is almost invisible, let's be honest. Click comment, type whatever you want, it doesn't really matter, you can put space or whatever. You will see this yellow highlight over here. But aside from just text and formatting, we got this big blue button right here where you can share and publish this note to anyone you like. And via this note, you can also add the note to your inbox and often also create a template out of this note. You immediately come to this menu right here where you can save this as a template, and then whenever you hit / on computer, you can add this template again. And on the iOS app, you can format as well, and it's quite easy since you can click the button on the left here and get all these different formatting options. But you can't comment still, so no highlight, I guess. The core feature though that Mem is most known for and got me personally to use it in 2021 is linking. You link by pressing either plus sign or the @ sign and then type either the name of the note, which pops up in the below menu over here, which you can select, or just create that note with the link being the title. And once you click on that link, it opens up on the sidebar right here on the right, which you can either expand on its own or switch sides. And unfortunately, the first line of that note is not a heading, so if you care about how it looks, you might have to adjust it manually though. Then on the right side here, you can see its backlinks and links from a specific document, so you can travel back and forth between those two. I use links a lot now to reference my most viewed notes called video ideas, and the links for all my videos are published, my focus document and all that, because it's so much easier to switch back and forth by clicking a link and click the link back again, especially when you're on a computer. But another way to link is also to create notes and links out of selected texts. And if you go back to this lighting symbol over again, you can click on push to a new mem, which is their name for notes, and then a new note has been created and link in the original note. But of course, you can create external links by simply copying and pasting them from wherever you want to, or press Command K while selecting certain text, but you can paste the link right there. But there's also another way to string together notes, and it's by tags, or what Mem calls it nowadays, collections. You create or add a tag by hashtag and type whatever name you want, or click on add collection right here and choose to either add to an existing collection or to a new one. And as soon as you have that tag, you can see right here which other notes have that specific tag and create even more associations if you wish. And when you click this collection menu over here, you can see all of them. By the way, if you thought so far it was quite memorable, be sure to subscribe for this channel for more in-depth videos like these in the magical world of note-taking apps, and in the future also productivity tools and AI, so a lot going for it. But now that we know all the basic things we can do inside a note, we also want to search after them. And Mem does not have folders at all and never will, which was quite fascinating back in the days for me when it was so new. I was so used to things like Google Drive and even Notion back then, like clicking and dragging all these files, nesting all of them and so forth. But when I heard that you don't even need those, it somehow spoke to me inside, like creative freedom and so forth. And that's pretty much what Mem offers, especially with these links, since you can simulate the folder by having one note and create multiple links like the table of contents, like I've done many times actually. But the most useful way to find notes is search. And if you click right here, press Command K, you can search whatever you want. And while Mem is all online and not offline, the search is actually very fast. You can just go to notes straight away, or by pressing right, you can also open up this note immediately from the sidebar, which is quite convenient. Let's say if you have your sources, but then you want your main document as well. So you just Command K and then that document, and now it's right here. But in these search results, you can browse through them all, view them either expanded or not, go through these back and forth, and even on the phone too, you can go back and forth. So it's not like it's its own menu, it's central and all that. A very fun thing you can do in search actually to type surprise me, and then we presented a randomly selected note. And this can be quite useful actually for brainstorming or just generating unexpected ideas, which I did during the early months of using Mem. A replacement for social media in the sense if you're scrolling through these novelties, but we can get that from our own insights, which can be equally as thrilling. But of course, if you're tired to search for a note again and again and again, you can add it to the sidebar right here by clicking the star icon. And in the sidebar, you can reorder the notes as you like. And even if I had over 4,000 notes at this point, I still looked at 3 to 10 every day. So it's a very small subset, kind of this Pareto principle again. One central thing that Mem has been very big upon is the inbox features. It wants you to process emails and tasks instead of any other app. And let's say if you have an idea or a task that you want to review later, and in that case you can add it to your inbox. And then you can see the note right here in the inbox view and do stuff with it. And if you just hover your cursor, you can click left arrow key to mark as read and just complete that, or set a reminder for that note by clicking the right arrow key to come back a certain time. So in other words, you got a pretty decent task manager right here where you can just create tasks by typing, add inbox, check it off, etc. But this inbox view is not available on the phone though, but still pretty cool nonetheless. But what you can do instead actually is you can go into the web app on your phone and search for Mem there and log in, because that's exactly the computer view but on the phone. And if you add to the home screen, you can get these inbox features and the other features here as well. So this is a hack right here, and I used to do this when both the iOS app was quite unreliable or it wasn't even out yet. There was still this backup option. But another way to use Mem as a task manager is go to this task view right here, and if you added any checkbox to any note, it will show up here. And aside from just clicking those boxes and see them disappear in a satisfying manner, you can also hide it by pressing left arrow or set it to a later time by pressing right arrow. You can go up and down by pressing these corresponding arrows and open up tasks by pressing Alt Enter. So a lot of these keyboard shortcuts that you can use to have it as a task manager. But aside from having it as a task manager, Mem is also big on collaborating with others. You can create and see all your contacts and friends that you've invited to Mem, use Mem and so forth. But you can also add new members here. You can also create certain groups or constellations for people we can share notes to, and they can share notes to. So all of them are like a workspace called that. But personally, the by far coolest thing Mem is going for until the AI came along is in this flows menu. First of all, if you're on Twitter and find something interesting, you can save it to Mem by typing Mem.ai, the official Mem account, and then Mem it. And then you will get an automatic response, a note in Mem, and even an AI generated summary, which we'll come back to. And second, as I said before, Mem wants to be your email inbox, so you can integrate your email contacts there and also forward your emails into Mem. You can set any email to save at Mem.ai and it will show up at your inbox. But there's also a more automatic way, which I'll show you very soon. But in the meantime, you're not just limited to email, but you can use SMS, WhatsApp and Telegram if you want. We already talked about templates, but you might have noticed at the start that there were these upcoming events section over here, and this is because you can connect your calendar through this menu, and once you update your calendar or add some kind of event there, the changes are automatically seen here, and then you can create a meeting note or other kind of notes specifically related to that event with date and everything, which is very useful if you're having a lot of meetings and want to simply be more attentive with other people. My favorite feature in this flow menu though is Daily Mem. And this Daily Mem actually got me to start taking notes in the first place, because I wasn't really a note taker until I got Mem, let's be honest. That daily note allowed me to have this confidence that whenever I thought of something, did not know where to add it, I could always have that daily note and add it there. Which is why I speak so fondly about daily notes. It's basically unlocked my creativity to a whole new level. And when you go into this menu, you can set a specific time of day when the daily note appears automatically in the timeline. And in my case, I set it to 4 AM since I'm a morning person. I want it available in the morning as well. And then you have this template option again, where you can add stuff like, what have I done today? what am I most grateful for, what is my story-worthy moment, call it that. You can also use other scheduled notes in this menu here, for instance a weekly review checklist, a cleaning checklist and so forth. And you can set the interval here and then for pop up. Lastly, before we go into more automation than AI, you can easily export your notes in this menu here, which I did when I was making the Obsidian video. But instead of getting multiple notes, you will get a single markdown file with everything you've written, which was in my case pretty huge. So I had to use ChatGPT to create a Python script to separate them into multiple notes, and Mem didn't really do it for me. But I'll link in the description the exact conversation I had that helped me to do this, so hopefully it would do it for you as well. But you can also import your notes if you're switching from another note-taking app to Mem, and you could also generate your API keys in case you want it for automation. We'll come back to right now. If you use the automation service called Zapier, you can use it to connect various processes and automations into Mem. For example, you can make it so certain emails or emails that you star get into Mem, or you can get new deals or tickets, contacts or companies on HubSpot or Zendesk, get new messages from Slack, Teams, Outlook, and even Evernote for some reason. All of that can be directly imported without doing anything, all into Mem. And you can also do many more automations. And it's very easy to create an account on Zapier, and you can use it for free unless you use a lot of automations. In that case, you can upgrade as you go. And then you basically follow the instructions from each automation that you want to make. For example, what happens if you go into the app, which account are we talking about, what actually happened, and then the test run just to see that it works. And as you can see, there are a lot of options, and it pretty much deserves its own video like this to give it justice. But for now, as long as you follow these instructions whenever you're on the Zapier page or look to connect it into other apps, it's quite straightforward what to do. And also let me know if you want that follow-up video regarding Mem and Zapier and so forth. Okay, so finally AI, which you have to pay now either $10 a month or $96 a year. And as soon as you set up your subscription, you get access to similar mems, smart search, smart write, and smart edit. And with similar mems, you get this additional menu on the right side where the AI selects the most relevant notes for that given note that you're on. It's like linking, but now you don't need to do anything. The AI simply links that for you, so it makes it truly self-organizing. And if you go back to the very beginning, Mem is a self-organizing note-taking app. Now we know why. And with smart search, you can write specific queries, a little bit more in depth, like for instance specific date ranges, which ones are checklist, images, etc. But the most famous one when it comes to Mem X is smart write, where you can make it continue writing and auto-complete certain notes or whatever is in there. And if you take this one over here, press this /, you can see that it did quite a good job there when it comes to interpreting what was said and make something out of it. But like any other AI, you can ask it anything and it will generate a response. For example, this summary of a productivity system that I came up with a year ago, because it's also working with your notes, so it's more context dependent, especially in your case. Although it can be very wide too. It can recommend books specifically for you based on your interests, and even make text in certain styles, like for instance in Joe Rogan. And also with smart edits, you can also rewrite things that you wrote, like summarize, make it longer, make it funnier, make it more professional, make it into a tweet thread, into a post, or other kinds of stylistic choices. But there is a catch. When you sign up for Mem X, you get 50 credits to play around with. Those are all free, or free, call it that. It's included in the subscription. Every time you use this AI feature, let's say if you type in a certain query or ask it to do a certain edit and so forth, a credit is taken. But as soon as these 50 are out, you have to pay either $39 for 250 credits, $69 for 500 credits, or $119 for 1,000 credits, and still pay $10 a month, so it's like on top of it. And to make it even worse, you cannot use Mem X or a smart write and smart edit on the phone yet to this day, so it's all computer only. And especially now when things like ChatGPT and Notion AI and similar options, Mem has actually got a lot of criticism lately for being so expensive to use without offering disproportionate value in return, which Honestly, I can understand. But as of April 2023, this is how it is, and if it updates, you can check it out in the description in the pinned comment. I will update you there. But other than that, here's everything you need to know about Mem, both in terms of note-taking, Mem Spotlight, AI, and all these other integration features. But if you want a similar but truly mind-blowing alternative that can pretty much deliver everything you want in the note-taking app, no joke, you can check out the full Obsidian tutorial right here. But still always remember that you're the most amazing human being alive.